Welcome to my channel. I appreciate every single person that subscribes to my channel, every single one of you that comments on my videos, every one of you that likes my videos, and every one of you that shares my videos. I've done no promotion at all, and yet I have 160 subscribers, which is surprising to me. And I really appreciate it, all 160 of you. I thank you for sharing so that others will come and hear me. And as long as there's people that are willing to listen to what I have to say, I'm going to continue this talk. Tonight I want to ask you a question. What do you think about what's going on at our border? You think it's okay? You think it's acceptable that thousands and thousands and thousands of people are crossing our border illegally every day? I don't. First of all, I think it's a kick in the teeth to people that have legally immigrated here. They went through all the hard work in the many years. I have a good friend who is from Trinidad. It took her 7 years to get her citizenship. 7 years. And she had to pay money. These people come across the border, don't pay a dime, get money from our government, and infiltrate and integrate into the population all over the country as if they haven't done nothing wrong. It's just crazy to me. And it's our government that's doing it. Listen to this by Ted Cruz, not Fred, Ted.
We're facing an unmitigated disaster at our southern border. Illegal immigration is the worst in our nation's history, and it's indefensible. All of us have been down to the southern border. I spend a lot of time on our southern border. John Cornyn and I together brought 19 senators down to the border to see firsthand. You cannot see what is happening there and defend it. One of my recent trips to the border, a reporter asked me, said, "Aren't the policies of Democrats more compassionate, more humane than you mean Republicans?" And I just started laughing. I said, you know who doesn't believe that anymore? Democrats. Where's Joe Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? Where's even a single Democrat senator? Where's AOC? I assume she still has her white pantsuit. She just can't be bothered to cry in front of the Biden cages. Because with Trump no longer in the White House, suddenly the suffering of those kids doesn't matter.
It disgusts me how politicians manipulate people, and the people let them get away with it. They don't even seem to realize they're being manipulated. Since I've been a young man, when I was in my teenage years, I have always said there's not a dime's worth of difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. The only difference between them is who gets the money. And that's been true my entire life. And yet, you have people who vote straight Republican ticket and people who vote straight Democrat ticket and never give a second's thought to what the position of that person is. I'm not talking about the things they say in their stump speeches and the things that they claim they're going to do for you. I'm talking about the things they actually do when they get into office. And what the administration is doing with illegal immigration it's insane, but they're not insane. They know exactly what they're doing. They're flooding our country with illegals, and some of these illegals are dangerous people. They're criminals, they're rapists, they're pedophiles, they're terrorists, and they're all infiltrating into our country with no tracking, no accountability, no responsibility, no nothing. It's crazy, and it will destroy our country.
You cannot see what is happening and defend it. And by the way, the reason Biden doesn't go to the border, the reason Kamala Harris and other Democrats don't go to the border, because if they did, y'all would follow. The press would follow. And their only defense, they cannot defend what they're doing. Their only defense is to cover it up. Karine Jean-Pierre stands at the White House podium and says, people are not just walking across the border. It's not happening. There's
If you if you spend a scintilla of time at the border, if you watch any of the videos, if you know anything at all about what goes on the border, you know that that's exactly what they're doing. They're just walking across the border, and we're not doing anything to stop them. A nation without borders is no longer a nation. And yet, this goes on and on and on and on. And the Republicans have contributed to it, and the Democrats have contributed to it, and the people of the United States sit idly by, keep voting these people into office, and don't worry about the consequences of what's happening. Our country's being destroyed, absolutely obliterated by the number of illegal people that are coming in here. Drugs, crime, sex crimes, sex trafficking, you name it. It's all happening. And they're not doing anything to stop it. And the American people don't even seem to be up in arms about it until just recently. Listen to this.
Technical legal term for what that is. That's called bullshit. It is an utter and complete lie. It is a deliberate lie. It is a known lie. And she is lying on behalf of the President of the United States in the White House. Now, why does she lie? She lies because she counts on the press not to call her out. Was there a PolitiFact, a pants on fire done on that? No. I've invited the White House press secretary, come with me to the southern border any day and pick any hour of the day. We'll go out in 1 hour, and I guarantee you we will encounter group after group after group. You want to know how bad it is? We're now seeing Democrat mayors, Democrat governors, mayors like Eric Adams, the Democrat in New York, who says illegal immigration is destroying New York City. That's with 110,000 illegal immigrants in New York City. If 110,000 is destroying New York City, what in the hell do you think 7.6 million is doing to the state of Texas and the other states along our southern border? Now, these Democrats who are saying this, they can't quite muster up the strength to put the blame where it lies, which is at the feet of Democrats who are doing this deliberately. Instead, Mayor Adams blames, quote, that madman down in Texas.
Now, you know, and I know, that the governors of Texas and of Florida have been sending migrants. That's what they call them, is migrants. They're illegal immigrants is what they are. They've been sending them to the cities in our country that claim to be, what's the word they use? Sanctuary cities. Sanctuary, where an illegal immigrant is safe and they can live there unmolested. And what's happening? Oh, first they complained and said it was a political stunt. But you know what? Come down to Texas sometime and watch what's happening here. Go down to the border towns and see how completely and utterly destroyed they have been. Go walk out on some of the ranches and see all the trash and the filth that's left behind by this mass immigration, by the huge numbers of people that are coming through, destroying property. Not intentionally, but still, you get thousands and thousands and thousands of people traipsing through your property, and it pretty much destroys things. And in some cases, they have gone into homes and shot the owners and taken everything that was in the house. But oh no, we can't talk about that. We can't put that on the news. That would be too negative.
By which he means Greg Abbott. I have to admit, I was kind of offended he wasn't referring to me. But he blames Greg Abbott for putting a few thousand illegal immigrants on buses and sending them to New York City. The person who caused this crisis, his name is Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. His home address is 16 blocks away. And by the way, if Eric Adams wants some help fixing this problem, he can pick up the phone and call someone else named Charles Schumer. He's a New York resident. I believe he lives in Manhattan. If the mayor doesn't have his number, we can give him Chuck Schumer's cell phone. Because Chuck Schumer is responsible, in the words of the New York mayor, for destroying New York City.
New York City has about 110,000 illegal immigrants. You know how many Texas has? It's in the millions. If you think New York City is being destroyed from 110,000, try coming down to Texas sometime, or New Mexico, or Arizona. Try living in those kinds of conditions and see what happens. It's wrong, it's evil, it's illegal, it's against the laws of our country, and yet they get away with it because the press won't say anything, and the people keep voting them into office. The bottom line is the voters are the ones who are to blame for all this, because they're the ones who keep electing these people over and over and over again. Look at these senators that are in their 80s and 90s. They're decrepit. They can't even function anymore. And yet they keep getting reelected. Why? Why do they get reelected? What is wrong with Americans? Do they not understand they have a responsibility to care about the country, to care about what's happening to it? It's insane. That's the only word I know to describe it. It's insane.
Look, some of y'all may have seen when Alejandro Mayorkas testified in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I asked him, I said, Mr. Secretary, how many migrants died last year crossing illegally? He said, I don't know, I have no idea. I said, of course you don't. The official numbers are 853, but you don't care about those dead bodies that appear in Texas every single day. I asked him how many children were brutalized by human traffickers. He said, I don't know. How many women were sexually assaulted? I don't know. How many people died of drug overdoses? As John Cornyn told you, it's more than 100,000. You want to talk about something stunning? I put up a photograph with pictures of colored wristbands. I said, Mr. Secretary, what are these wristbands? And he said, I have no idea what they are. Now look, any good lawyer will tell you, you don't ask a question you don't know the answer to. That was one answer that left me flabbergasted. Because just about every single illegal immigrant who crosses the border wears one of those wristbands. They're color-coded for how many thousands of dollars they owe the cartels.
Now think about that for a minute. These people, many of them are desperate. They're coming to America because the countries they live in are dysfunctional. They're overrun with gang violence and crime and corruption. The governments are corrupt. There's almost nothing they can do to have a decent living, and it's hard to even survive in those conditions. So they're coming over thousands of miles to America to try and make a better life for themselves. I understand what they're trying to do, but when they get to Mexico, the cartels rob them and take over their lives, and they put wristbands on them to show how much they owe. And then you know what they do? They come to America and they work off their debt by committing crimes for the cartel. They have no choice. You think that's compassion? Do you think that's caring about people? It's insane. That's what it is. Insane. And yet it goes on and on and on, and nobody talks about it. Nobody does anything about it. It's crazy. I can't even put it into words. It's so horrible. Girls are taken over as sex slaves, and they are tortured to death in Mexico. They never even make it to the United States. We don't even know how many. That's how crazy it is. Now, I've been flashing news articles up on the screen to show you that what Ted Cruz is saying is true. I'll put links to those in the description below so that you'll be able to check them out for yourself. I double-checked everything that he said, and for the most part, it's true. He said there was 100,000 dying from fentanyl. It's actually 96,000. Whoop, whoop. It's close enough to 100 to be safe. But here we have the Secretary of Homeland Security, the man responsible to control immigration at our border, and he's not even aware of how many people have died. He's not aware that there's sex trafficking, and he's not aware that they're wearing colored wristbands to indicate how much they owe the cartels. Why is he still in office? Why is he drawing a paycheck with our tax dollars to do nothing?
And if you stand on the banks of the Rio Grande River, you see hundreds or thousands of these wristbands. They're just like this. These are the wristbands picked up from the banks of the Rio Grande River. And the little boys, the teenagers who come in who owe thousands of dollars to the cartels, they're sent to every city in America, and they're working for the cartels to pay off those thousands of dollars. They're committing crimes in Washington, D.C., and New York, in every city in America. And if they don't pay off the cartels, their families will be murdered. And as bad as the boys have it, the girls have it even worse. There are literally thousands upon thousands of girls trapped in sex slavery to pay off their debts to the cartels. When I look at these are modern day leg irons. This is human slavery. And it is caused by the Democrats not giving a damn about the people being abused. And so I want to make a plea to the press. The reason the Democrats can do this, can look the other way, is because they're confident that the corporate media will not report on it, that they'll never have to answer questions about it. They'll never be confronted with the dead bodies, with the people being brutalized by these policies. So I want to make a plea to you. If you're not writing on it, if you're not running stories on it, if you're not telling what's happening, you are complicit in modern day slavery. This is indefensible. It's evil.
Yes, it's evil. Yes, it's indefensible. Yes, the press is hiding it. They're not talking about it. But that doesn't matter. You, as an American citizen, have a responsibility to find out what's going on and to do something about it, to talk to your representative, to talk to your senator, to demand action, to vote for someone who will do something about illegal immigration. It's time for you to act. It's time for all Americans to act. It's time for us to get past the point where we're talking about politics and we start talking about real life and about saving our country. If you're not willing to do that, get off my channel. Go watch all the silly stuff that's on YouTube. Pay attention to people who do inane things and don't care about what's happening in America. Because I care, and I'm damn sick and tired of it. As always, I pray that you will prosper and be in health, and that everyone that you love will do the same, that God will keep you safe and have a long life. And I pray that you be anxious for nothing, but in all things with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, you will let your request be made known to God. And that the peace that passes all understanding will keep your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. This is the Vietnam era vet out.